Namaste, Sub Subha Sandhya to everyone. Namaste, Namaste everyone. Soumya, Namaste.
Namaste,
So
Shubh
we
Sandhya.
are Dr. Mayur V. Kaku. I am a neurosurgeon as well as a yoga therapist. And with me is Soumya.
I am Soumya Shri. I am a child mental health professional. I am Dr. Mayur Kaku's wife.
And we are running a trust called as YENRI, Yoga Environment Neuroscience Research Institute. In this, we are bringing up interesting topics about yoga, environment, and neuroscience. Enriching your knowledge, enriching your experience through neuroscience, environment, and yoga. Yesterday was International Friendship Day 2024. Unfortunately, yesterday we were not able to come live. Today also, after finishing this live stream, I have to go and operate on a very young person, just 20 years old, who has a blood clot in the brain. So, friendship, this topic I can open up with this example itself that in our young age, we are too much passionate about our friendships, and our company determines our fate. And somewhere, in young age, many people do commit mistakes, and those mistakes reflect on their outcomes in terms of their health, finances, so on and so forth. So, last year in February 2023, we had experienced a very severe accident where all the three students, they had died on the spot. The car was crushed completely. Uh, they were celebrating the birthday of their friends, and in that process, they had consumed alcohol, and they are no more today. I'm not talking about the current patient, but yes, similar events can lead to head injuries and then blood clots and so on and so forth. Okay. So friendship is a very interesting phenomenon. It can raise you, it can destroy you as well. It's a it's like a double-edged sword. So what do you say, Soumya?
I definitely agree. And I think your example was very relevant because many times in young ages, because of peer pressure, children do a lot of things in the name of friendship without understanding the consequences. And like you rightly pointed out, it could be for the better or it could be for the worse. So, definitely understanding the impact of friendship, the way neuroscience has explained how friendships are formed and how it motivates us to make friends. Our brain motivates us to make friends. I think we can discuss that in the further slides.
Yes, definitely. So the International Day of Friendship was proclaimed in 2011 by the United Nations General Assembly with the idea that friendship is to grow between people, countries, cultures, and individuals. So friendship is not just a phenomenon between two people, two individuals. It's a phenomenon between countries as well. We have some countries which are considered to be our friends, some cultures which are considered to be our friends. However, there are some countries which are considered to be our enemies, so on and so forth. And as we know, when we are friends, we enjoy together. But when we are not friends, when we have conflicts, we are going to destroy the peace of each other. So the idea of celebrating International Day of Friendship is not just the friendship between Dr. Soumya and Dr. Mayur needs to be celebrated. It's the friendship between India and Russia, or India and new friendship with some country with whom we were not friends with, so on and so forth. And that is how to inspire the peace efforts and build bridges between the communities. So that is what International Day of Friendship is about. Okay, Soumya.
So the International Day of Friendship, like Mayur just mentioned, also follows the proposal that was made by UNESCO. And what did UNESCO do? They defined the culture of peace. And this culture of peace we can only attain by making friendship by between different people and cultures and countries, like just Mayur explained. And and UNESCO basically says defining the culture of peace is a set of values, attitudes, and behaviors. And what are all of these doing? They are rejecting violence. And it is an endeavor to prevent conflicts between various regions, various countries, various communities, and cultures, so that we are addressing the root causes of the problems through friendship and through the culture of peace, and overall trying to understand how we can solve these problems. And because of this proposal, it was later on taken up by the United Nations General Assembly and officially adopted in 1997. So I wish, Mayur, that all the college going children and school going children who will exchange friendship bands and do all these things during Friendship Day would listen to this and would know how this International Friendship Day came into existence. And I think it will add lot of value to their understanding of what in what way we can celebrate and what core set of values that actually United Nations proposed this particular day for.
Definitely, Soumya. And let me elaborate on this, that what are the actions which are needed to promote the culture of peace? So first of all, most important is that we have to develop the culture or foster the culture of peace through education, then promote sustainable economic and social development. Now, all these things will go bouncer to the young children or students which we were talking about. And that is why I humbly request, we have few live viewers on YouTube right now, and later on it will be there on the YouTube. We request all of you to please, you know, take this video to your youngsters and let them see why and how friendship is important and what kind of friendship you should develop. So promote the respect of all our human rights, ensure equality between women and men, foster democratic participation, advance understanding, tolerance, and solidarity, support participatory communication and the free flow of information and knowledge, and promote international peace and security. So I see many youngsters taking on to the social media and degrading the citizens of other countries whom they feel they are not friends with, and fighting over on social media with various kinds of communities and so on and so forth. The friendship is something which, it is a very basic phenomenon where peace and happiness can prevail. And that is how culture of peace requires friendship to be cultivated. So now Soumya will introduce this.
So just to get a little bit better understanding of neuroscience of friendship, and I think even while we were preparing these slides, Mayur and I had lot of back and forth conversation about our understanding of what friendship is as neuroscience professionals, and why we feel like sharing this would give a better understanding to everybody in the Yenri family and to the viewers on YouTube who have joined us. We just want to take you through a little bit of the neuroscientific aspect of friendship, so that in turn, our understanding of neuroscience probably will also help to contribute in developing this culture of peace and you working on some of these core values. Let us dive deep into understanding some basic concepts of what our brain does when we think about friends or friendship and how does it happen.
Okay. So as we were discussing, I first thing which came into my mind was, Soumya, the aspect of friendship is universal, and we see the friendships amongst animals, and those friendships are far more beautiful, divine, and selfless. Even in movies, these things have been depicted. One of, or so many of our favorite movies have these kind of themes, where you can see in Lion King, the Simba is, supported by other animals of other species. Not only in just in movie, but same kind of phenomenon you can see in real life also. Even, I have seen a video where crocodile leaves behind a deer who is pregnant, or else a monkey is taking care of a cheetah's cub when cheetah mother has died, so on and so forth. There are so many interesting phenomena which happen, and there is a very basic empathy which is there, which is very basic connection which is happening, similar to that which happens in the movie called Jungle Book, for Mowgli, and you can see Mowgli is supported by a bear and the, black cat and the monkeys and so on and so forth. Similarly for Tarzan as well. So animal behaviors, we find very interesting that animals who lose their parents, or animals who are very small and not getting any support, will get friendship from animals of other species, and they are made to survive and enjoy their existence on this planet. So Soumya, do you have anything to say about it?
No, I think ultimately neurobiology is so mysterious and so beautiful in its own way. And I was just putting in the live chat as well that our viewers on YouTube can actually share which other movies you have seen that you get reminded of when we are discussing about this particular concept of friendship and caring when one species, when somebody loses their own kin. So if you're watching live, please do share
Okay,
if you
namaste,
have.
namaste all. Please, we request all of you to introduce yourself. So many of you are here. We request you to introduce yourself and let us start a new friendship here. If you are our old friend, then why not remind us that, oh, hi, old friend, we are here. And yes, most welcome. You can share your thoughts. You can share your movies where you have seen amazing friendships. Not only animation movies, not only any movies related with animals, but other movies as well. Thank you. Soumya.
So I think one of the key things that in neuroscience, a lot of articles have talked about, a lot of concepts that have come around is the concept of reciprocity. So when we talk about reciprocity, it is basically talking about the reward pathways of the brain, where if one animal is approaching another animal, whether it is, let us say, a lion with another lion, or a horse with another horse, a cow with another cow, two dogs or two cats, or a dog and a cat, even in the animal kingdom, if we think. I think when one approaches and there is access to another, then reciprocity will kind of help to build that reward pathway, saying, yes, this person is trying to access me. And then because of their common interests and the kind of attachment they form, they ultimately become friends. So the key to becoming friends is very, I think, straightforward. And we have read about these neuroscientific theories even when we talk about formation of the social brain in very young children, when childhood brain development is happening, when they go to school, or when they are in kindergarten, when they look at other children in their own classroom, and when they approach somebody, try to share a toy, try to share a chocolate, or offer some food in the classroom, and when the other child will smile, when the other child will show that kind of social reciprocity, I think that is where our brain starts learning how to approach friends, how to form friendships. And for friendship to happen, like I said, there is need to access other people who are having similar interests. And so if some child tries to approach another child, and if that child is bullying, then they definitely will not become friends. But at the same time, if the other child is also approaching with a pencil, or with a crayon, or with a chocolate, and just gives a smile, then this child will feel comforted and they'll think, yes, this child is showing interest. Let us become friends. And that is how their friendship attachment will start forming.
Before we got married, we were also becoming friends. And means these rules generally, they apply. We had common interests, and we initially the reciprocity was a problem, but our reciprocity was induced, and then as we became reciprocal, me and Soumya started knowing each other, and then we knew that okay, we have common interests, and then we had access to each other, and then we developed that bonding, and then over a period of time we thought that we will escalate this to a permanent friendship, and friendship where we can stay together. That is what we did, and it has been 12 years now. So the thing is that there are few areas of the brain which take more interest in friendship. So those areas are like anterior cingulate cortex, orbitofrontal cortex, nucleus accumbens, and caudate nucleus. So many areas of the brain which are responsible for various analysis, okay, social behavior related analysis. And then after that, they will do that adjustment with regards to their psyche, and then they will include or exclude the opposite person. Okay. So that is one thing. Then now Soumya will tell about the further things. Murthy ji, namaste.
I think friendship, if we look at neuroscience itself, the brain size scales with social complexities. So we have seen that in smaller animals who don't have as complex social bonding and friendships as complex as what humans have, their brain size is slightly smaller. But the more the social capacity, the more the social behavior, the better is the brain size. And again, if we look at social behaviors themselves, sorry, Mayur, you were saying something?
But like the thing is that yes, definitely, and like these things create the evolutionary push, which we can say. The evolutionary push is there. Then we go into the spirituality aspect of it. Why there is a evolutionary push? So it is a very basically, it's not a scientific question. Basically, it becomes a spiritual question that why we are entering into so much of social complexities. And if you think in that manner, the human consciousness is evolved to a point where we can say that Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmasmi. So means everywhere there is presence of Brahman, everywhere there is presence of supreme consciousness. Or the initial Veda Vakya is Aham Brahmasmi. So I am the Brahman. So I am everywhere. I am present everywhere. That is what is told. So this social complexity leads to the understanding of a higher truth, which is we are all unified in the form of matter and energy. And to achieve that, the brain volume has to increase. And why it has to increase, we don't know. Why we have to get so much of consciousness, why we have to study neuroscience, why we have to study environment, why we have to study yoga. All these things are very interesting until and unless we start asking these questions. Namaste, namaste Indira ji and Vijay Kumar ji. Thank you very much for joining in. So Swami, you can continue.
So, Mayur, I have a question in that sense. I am curious to also probably share this with you and ask you that what about then all our youngsters and adults who, instead of challenging their own brain in terms of, the second point says, if you increase your cognitive demand of social behavior, where we are looking at higher consciousness and we are talking about how in evolution our brain is trying to make better connections, more connections, increase the size, and all of these things for better neural development, then what do you think potentially could happen to those who are, let us say, addicted to screen time, not adequately using their cognitive capacities, or not making enough effort to have good social behaviors. Because in evolution, if we see what has changed from in the mammals itself to humans is the social complexity. And when we are talking about neuroscience, what do you think is probably going to happen, or what is that we should avoid to lose the social evolution that we have as humans reached up till now, or at least our ancestors had reached, and are we going down that path?
Definitely, there is a concern, and that concern, with my own personal views, I can say that the moment we have externalized the intelligence from here, we are using this computer. This computer has its intelligence, and through this computer, we are using something also called as artificial intelligence. And recently, there has been an article published that the data generated using AI, the data generated using AI over a period of time, if you feed AI data to the AI again, the AI becomes useless. So the whole idea is that originality is the key. And until and unless we keep on doing original things, then virtual things, we will, we have to keep on learning and doing the original things, not the virtual things. Then only we will be able to sustain our evolution. The evolution cannot be transferred on external devices. The evolution is biological, it is not technological. Technological evolution can help the biology to sustain or protect itself for a while. However, too much of externalization of various instincts, various things, various survival instincts, various evolutionary instincts, if we keep on transferring, we as biological creature are going to become weak. And that we are seeing, Soumya. We are seeing, and we are seeing the survival instincts of people are coming down. People don't know what to eat, what not to eat. People don't know what kind of risk to take and not to take, so on and so forth. We are seeing so many stupid things on the internet. People walking with mobile and then falling down from 13th floor. People entering into a waterfall area for photography, not knowing that this is a monsoon season, and then there can be sudden rush of water, and then they will be blown away. Families are getting blown away. So such a madness is there about social media that they want to create following and so on and so forth, that they risk their safety, not only safety, they risk their lives, and they are losing. So many people are losing their lives. So this increased cognitive demand has to be not virtual, not for the internet, but that cognitive demand has to be there for our own development. And for that, for our own development, our basic skills, which are with the help of hand-eye coordination, that if we are using, then we will be able to push the neural development. The neural development is not going to happen if we are continuing to use social media, if we are continuing to use too much of internet. That is what is my humble observation. Okay. So with that understanding, and now let us move on to the next one. So, Soumya, did I satisfy your, question?
Yeah, definitely. And I think even for neural development in children, one of the things I commonly tell in the clinic is also to see if children can pursue any form of creative art or yoga, because I think that enhances the ability of theirs to use all of their senses, make their mind body coordinate in a better way, facilitate the productivity, improve their attention span, and get their creative juices flowing. So I think that contributes to neural development and definitely can benefit them in a holistic manner.
Soumya, you can continue for a while. I have a call coming. I will just
Sure, sure. So I think when we are looking at friendship formation itself, there are some things that are called as affiliative behaviors, which basically stem from our senses. So there are visual affiliations, vocal affiliations, olfactory affiliations. In fact, it is very interesting that Once I had a child who actually said, I don't like this particular teacher because she does not smell good. And that itself, that child was able to express at the age of 4 years. And you can imagine the kind of bonding that child would then develop to the teacher. And yet again, here you can see the picture, the various areas of the brain that help us in perceiving these social cues, understanding the other person's emotion, triggering our own motivation to frame these social connections and friendship, how we behaviorally adapt, what areas of the brain are responsible for behavioral adaptation to some of these things when we are looking at friendship formation. And again, in order to have a good friendship, it's necessary to select the right kind of friends, acquire those kind of friends. And for a long term good friendship, you also have to know how to maintain this friendship, again, through emotion, motivation, behavioral adaptation, and so on.
Correct. So means I don't know whether Soumya is feeling shy or what, but like as we were becoming friends, we had our own visual affiliative behaviors, and my presence in one of the classes was responsible for Soumya to notice me. So that was a visual cue. Then in terms of vocal, I had heard Soumya singing the song called as Dil Hai Chota Sa Choti Si Asha. So that is one more thing. And then olfactory means in terms of smell of a person or smell of the food can also create affiliative behaviors. So that is one thing. And as we go on with respect to friendship, we gather information about people. It is very, very important that we need to know about people. We need to select our people. We need to acquire means we have to maintain that relationship in terms of acquire them. Acquire in the sense, yes, we have to tell them that okay, we are going to be friends, and then we have to maintain that friendship. So that is what it is. Now, in terms of neurochemical system, many of you like to know about it, and there are two important neurotransmitters or neuropeptides or neurohormones, you can say, oxytocin and then beta endorphin. There are so many others, okay, all are required, but these are two most important where the pro-social decisions are taken with the help of oxytocin. So you will see that people who are born, and then they lose their mother in childhood, they have a lot of difficulties, growing up, and then their discussions are slightly, very difficult. Second one is that oxytocin is responsible for encouraging generosity. So we become generous with people, who have induced our oxytocin, like our mother, our spouse, and our children, so on and so forth. Mother is the most generous person on the planet for son or the daughter. Why? Because that oxytocin bond is there. And oxytocin facilitates social interaction. You will see the easiest person to talk to on this planet is your mother or your child. Then second next person is your spouse. That is because of the oxytocin bond which we have developed over a period of time. In friendship also that plays a role. There are various definitions of friendship where it is told that friendship is a phenomenon which is not including the reproductive aspect. However, without reproductive aspect also oxytocin can be there in the picture. Then coming down to beta endorphin, the formation and maintenance of social bonds is happening because of beta endorphin. There are people with whom you will feel so comfortable that you will feel painless. Your pain will go away just looking at them. Those are your people, those are your friends, and they are, getting in your life. They are being in your life because of beta endorphins. Okay. So this is what it is. Soumya, you want to add something? You can add.
No, I think you've covered pretty much of the neurochemical aspect of it very clearly. Maybe I'll go on to this slide where we have shared what are the benefits of friendship. But before that, do you want to take the question from YouTube, Ramanaji's
Madhuriji's.
question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, friendship, friendship is something which is very interesting, and how can we maintain long-term friendship? It's a mutual connection, Ramanaji, where both the parties have to decide to maintain a long-term relationship, and for long-term relationship to go, we have to this slide itself we can maintain, where we need to consistently improve the mood of our friend. That effort we have to take. We have to help our friends to reduce their stress and depression. We have to help them to find that sense of belonging to us. We have to help them to reach their goals. We have to help them to build their self-esteem. And then we have to help them to encourage them to live a healthy life. And then we have to help our friends to keep us physically and mentally strong. So now, suppose there is somebody who wants me to drink alcohol. Should I be friends with that person or not? Soumya.
I think if we are looking at long-term friendship, again, it's important to identify who we want to be friends with and what are our values. And time and again, we see this kind of peer pressure in the name of friendship, not only in college going children and adolescents and all these things, but very much so even in our community, our fraternities. We quite often see people resorting to these kind of things, thinking that it will lead to benefit in the long term. But unfortunately, this is not the essence of friendship. I think when we are saying somebody is a friend, it is where the friend is also able to say this is not the right path, and the other person accepts it without getting offended. And at the same time, understanding that you cannot talk behind each other's back or give the other person enough space, be respectful, while also having your own moral values not shaken in the name of friendship.
Few more things out of the personal experience, that long-term friendship is possible when when we have decided that okay, this is my friend, not just friend for benefit. And another thing is that as we grow in life, we don't forget who supported us during our difficult times, so on and so forth. So for me, my one of my friends is there, Pratap. So we have mutually supported each other, and Pratap is my friend since 2011, and now it is 2024. We have been friends since 2000 for 13 years now. Similarly, I have a friend called Vikrant and Pushkar, who are my friends since 2003. So now it is 21 years with them. The reason is that we have mutually supported each other during our difficult times. And when our difficult times have come, we have remembered each other. And that is what is the respect and regard we have. We know that this person is going to reduce my stress, is going to reduce my depression. This person is going to help me reach my goals. This person is going to help me to encourage myself. This person is going to elevate my mood in the right way, not by giving me a glass of alcohol. So that is, my dear friends, all of you are your long-term friends. So I hope that Ramanaji, I have given your answers. And in animal kingdom, increased survival is the thing which happens, and reproductive success it is creating, evolutionary fitness it is creating, and lesser mental health issues it can create if the friendship is good. Okay, so that is what it is. Soumya.
So I think when we are going through benefits, we should also look at what happens when people don't make friends and what happens when you isolate yourself and not interested to talk to anybody or share.
I have
Um,
one more scenario where you may be isolated by others. That also may be a possibility. So it's not just one person's mistake. It may be a complete society's mistake. Society or that particular community may not be an inclusive community. That is also a possibility. There are various groups which are not so inclusive. And if you may fall into the trap of being into or belonging into that group, and that group is not ready to take you, you are going to feel lonely. Soumya.
yes, so socially isolated people generally are at a higher risk for cardiovascular diseases, for developing infections because of poor immune system development, because all of these hormones that we talked about or the neurochemicals that we talked about definitely also have an interplay. And yet again, it can cause high blood pressure, and very frequently we see mental health issues like anxiety and depression. And many times, even in my clinic, I come across children who are being brought up in orphanages where they are basically in one kind of social isolation. And very frequently, we see these children going on to adulthood to develop anxiety and depression. It is also very commonly known that if there is, let us say, a parent whose child is disabled, what they do is, because of the stigma that is there in the community, because they are not able to present their child to the community, or the community is not able to accept the child the way the child is without commenting or without stigmatizing the family. Time and again, parents' mental health gets affected, and because of that, these parents socially isolate themselves. And over a period of time, very commonly, it is known that if there is a parent who has a child with a disability, they have at least 50 to 70% higher chance of developing cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, hypertension, mental health issues like anxiety and depression, time and again, because of specifically because of this social isolation, which pushes them to get into various other risk factors and stress, and many times substance abuse as well.
Very nice. So, what exactly we gain out of friendship in terms of evolution? The evolution of cooperation is happening. Now, many animals they hunt alone, but however, there are animals who hunt in packs. So, as we develop friends, we can build our society using the phenomenon of friendship. Using the phenomenon of friendship, we develop cooperation, and then through cooperation, we are developing a beautiful society. We are developing a beautiful community. We are building a beautiful country. We are developing a beautiful world. That is what United Nation wants us to do. United Nation want us to develop positive reciprocity. Suppose some one country is speaking something, and then another country also responds positively. Suppose India, raises a hand of friendship towards Pakistan, and Pakistan will tell, no, 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 not no, you are Indians are like this only, like that only, and then if they don't respond positively, or if suppose Pakistan sends a hand of friendship and we don't do that, then the situation remains the same. That is why positive reciprocity is very important. Suppose me and Soumya have some conflict, and then we keep on negatively influencing each other. The conflict will not resolve. So what we have to do is, suppose if I say something positive, Soumya also needs to say something positive, or if Soumya says something positive, I also need to bring up a positive aspect, and then we should multiply this positive reciprocity. That is what happens in friendship. So we have few questions like Murthy ji has asked, what kind of chemicals play a role in likes and dislikes? So dopamine is one of the neurotransmitters which help us. Serotonin is one more which help us to develop these kind of likes and dislikes. Okay, and these likes and dislikes, yes, definitely they play a role in our friendships. However, with respect to friendship, we generally tend to become milder in terms of drawing lines, and these lines further blur over a period of time. That as the as we have to develop the relationship further, we have to milden and then dissolve the likes and dislikes, and cherish each other's likes and help each others to remove the dislikes, like that. Soumya.
I think we have a couple of more comments on YouTube. So I think Murthy ji also says groupism forms in a common group, and that might be because some of them gel well. Definitely, I think it is because of likes and dislikes and many other aspects. Not only just likes and dislikes. It is very complex. Group.
Slowly group enters into something called as politics also.
So there is that, there is jealousy, there is hatred, there is clash of values. So it could be multiple. I mean, even just to give an example, even people living in one apartment, let us say, in a community living, there could be people who might be thinking that the floors are not cleaned well, or somebody else who wants to change the lift and get a better lift, or somebody else who is against the idea of Swiggy people coming into everybody's home because the elderly people are there who are unwell. So even small things like this can create a lot of conflict and disrupt friendships and cause smaller groups and groupism, like you rightly said. But I think the groupism that you're specifically pointing out is far more common in workspaces where constantly people are trying to um, be jealous of each other or trying to work with each other, but truly against each other. And because of that, definitely it happens. And I think there was one more question.
It's a compliment. UN
Oh,
says and Henry's follows it.
yeah, yeah.
Positivity and reciprocity. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
We
Ramanaji.
really appreciate your kind words, and thank you very much for all of you to ask these questions. We have our YouTube channels, Dr. Mayur V. Kaku, Dr. Soumeshri Mayur Kaku, and we have more than, like, combined together, we might be having more than 1,000 videos, and we run Brahma Muhurat yoga classes on Zoom. You are most welcome to join it. We have a sankalpa of 1 crore plus people doing Brahma Muhurat yoga together, and we would love to see you on Brahma Muhurat yoga classes. This is a very interesting phenomenon where we are trying to develop collective consciousness. We want to build a strong, mentally, physically healthy community. For that, we run health retreats, workshops. We are most welcome. You are most welcome to join us in all these things. You are most welcome to bring your volunteering activity. You're most welcome for our yoga therapy sessions. And we do complex brain and spine consultations for all kinds of diseases. And Soumya.
Yes, through Yenri, we also have created some interesting resources to facilitate some of the key goals and visions that Yenri has. So Panchakosha Viveka Diary is one of it, where you can read and understand more about what Panchakosha Viveka is, go through each of these koshas and reflect upon yourself. And it is basically like a daily journaling where you're doing it through the concept of Panchakosha Viveka, a very unique diary, which definitely I think you will not be able to find on any of the e-shopping platforms. A very valuable resource which has been created by Dr. Mayur, specifically for understanding Panchakosha Viveka and working on your own self-reflection through the Panchakoshas that we have. And we also have other resources like magnets and table calendar and some mugs which are related to um, positivity and mental health, which are also part of the Yenri's resources.
These are all designed by Soumya, and these are very useful. We have seen people using it, and then they have told that it helps. So, with that understanding, thank you very much, all of you, for joining in, and wish all of you a belated Happy Friendship Day. Friendship is not a day's work, it is a work of lifetime. And we wish that all of you have friends for lifetime. We wish that all of us enjoy this Maitri, which we are developing through Henry. So thank you very much. Thank you, Soumya, for making these slides and creating such a nice presentation. Thank you very much.
I think the feeling is mutual. We definitely had a good time reading about it and has definitely enhanced our own um, neurotransmitters through positive reciprocity, I think.
Without touching each other, we have improved our oxytocin. Chalo. Thank you very much. Very nice. Have a nice day. Have a nice good night, everybody. I have to go and operate a case now and help a person improve their cognition. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Namaste. Shubharatri. Soumya, I forgot to announce that our we had talked about goodies which we are going to release. We want you to write the story of your best friendship on your comment section, and through that, all the entries out of that best 3 entries we are going to select for sending you interesting Henry resources for your own personal use. So thank you very much. Please do write down, and we would love to send you those beautiful gifts which you can use for yourself and your friends. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Namaste.